All right, you guys. Apparently, I have to do this in the car because the wind is terrible. But so graduated high school 2015, and so I shipped off to Navy Bootcamp right after that, July of 2015. And I remember the first week of boot camp is called P days, and so in P days, it's like your processing days. So they're doing all the paperwork and stuff like that. It's nothing exciting. They don't really IT you yet. IT is like intensive training where they have this card that they pull out. It's called a orange card. And it has a bunch of like workouts on it. They can't really do that to you in P days just because you haven't been cleared through medical yet or anything like that. So we got done with processing days, and we were about 2-3 weeks in. I think we were about 3 weeks in. And so we were in our ship. All the buildings there that you stay in, the compartments that you live in for the 8 weeks that boot camp is, they're called compartments. And I remember we got to our ship, and we were getting ready to go to chow one day. And I remember me and my buddy, this other recruit, we're gonna call him Recruit Stenchfoot. That was my buddy. We're gonna call him that just to protect his name. But I remember we thought it would be a funny idea to, every time like a new recruit or anything would come by, like a new division would pass by us when we were waiting in the chow hall. Now, mind you, in boot camp, you're not supposed to be talking to anybody. Like, chit chat's not really high on their priority list. It's all about building that discipline not to talk and to have attention to detail and that kind of thing. So you don't really talk to really, if it doesn't have anything to do with like getting the job done or getting the next task done, like you're not having a conversation. And I remember we're standing in the chow hall, the line to go into the chow hall, and when you're standing there, you're supposed to either be reading your like recruit manual or just standing at attention, like not talking, not doing anything, not looking around. And I remember we thought it'd be funny so that when like there had been like a new division that came in, so they were still in their P days, they were still walking around in their sweats, they haven't even got uniforms yet, so they were brand new, and they were walking past us, so they were going the opposite way. We were facing straight, they were facing the other way, coming back towards us. And I remember time they would pass by us, me and my buddy, my shipmate, we would tell them, we'd be like, hey, we would whisper, hey, your shoe's untied, and we'd laugh. I know, super immature, but at the time I thought it was hilarious. Mind you, I was like 18, so it was super immature. I'm 22 now, about to be 23. So we thought it was funny, we'd laugh, whatever, and then we'd wait for the next person and we'd do it all over again. So we did that to 2 or 3 people, and then the fourth one came and I did it, and I was like, hey, your shoe's untied. I don't know if I said it too loud or if somebody's told on us or what, but like I said it and I was laughing, and I looked back to see if they were still like looking down at their shoe, because like I was like, I wonder if they're still like looking to see if their shoe's untied, ha ha ha. And I'm looking, and when I'm turned around, I see yellow name tape. Now, just a little background for you. In the Navy, yellow name tape is either a chief, a senior chief, or a master chief, or an officer. So like I already knew what time it was. Like I knew it was wraps. I was like, if they saw me, it's wraps. And so like I look back, and then I shoot back forward, and I pull out my recruit division, my manual, and I open it up and I try to flex like I'm reading. Like I've been reading the whole time. Like I've been studying, like I wasn't talking, like we weren't joking around. And I remember him just walking up, and he didn't say anything to me at this moment. He walked up and he just leaned forward, and I'm standing there like Terra. You have seen that meme with Terra? I'll put it in here, but it's like oh God, oh God. And he stops and he looks at me, and he looks at my name tag, my name tape, and he's like, Butler. That's my last name. He's like, Butler. Got it. And he walked in the chow hall. That's all he said, bro. When I tell you that I was ready to die right there, I made peace. I was like, this is it. This is it. I was like, yo, I really jacked up. And so I'm standing there. I already know I already know this is not going to play out well. I remember so it was our turn to go into the chow hall. So we go in the chow hall, and we're coming around the corner because you have to follow the wall around. And so I'm standing on the wall. And mind you, I have, when you go to boot camp, you can get like different jobs. So like there's RPOC, and that's like your recruit. He's in charge of the division, technically underneath the RDCs. So he kind of tells us like what the schedule is and that kind of thing. There's AROC, he calls our cadence when we march. And then there's squad leaders. So you're in charge of like you're in front, you're in charge of like the facing movements and that kind of thing. And then like in the compartment, you're in charge of like a couple different recruits. If you go to boot camp, if you go to Navy boot camp, don't volunteer for a job. I mean, it's good if you're ready for that, but if you're not, like, don't be shocked if they fire you from it, because that just happens. Like, they switch out RPOC all the time. So that's disgusting. Sorry, guys. But so I was squad leader. So you get this little on your NWUs, get this little like insignia that you get to wear. It doesn't really mean anything outside of boot camp. It doesn't really mean anything inside of boot camp except for that you're a squad leader. But I remember did that, and then so we're walking around the corner, and so I have my insignia on. He's like, he yells from the chief that I got in trouble with. He yells across from the other side of the chow hall, and he's like, Butler. I said, yes, chief. And he's like, go ahead and bring me that insignia. So I had to take it off, and I brought it to him, got back in line, and he was like, if you want it back, you can come up to my compartment and get it. And his division was sitting at the table right there, and they weren't allowed to talk, but I looked at their eyes, and they were like, bro, you don't want to come up here. Like, do not come up here. It's not even worth it. Like, just graduate, forget about the insignia, like, don't come up there. Of course, my RDCs, they weren't going to let me fly by that. Like, I told my RDC, and she was like, go get my insignia back. So during chow, I didn't eat anything. I knew what time it was. I was like, I'm not going to eat anything. So I just drank a bunch of Powerade and a bunch of water, and I was like, all right, let's go do this. So we get done with chow. We go back to our compartment, and I'm walking to go up to his compartment because he was the next level up in the ship, or like the building. Like, he was on the next floor. His compartment was the chief. So I'm walking. I pass by one of my RDCs, and RDC is a recruit division commander. I passed one of mine, and she's like, Butler, where are you going? And I was like, Chief so-and-so, I'm not gonna say his name, but Chief so-and-so said to get the insignia back, I have to come up to his compartment. All she did, I don't know if he's like has a reputation or something, but all she did was laugh and say, good luck, and walk past. And I was like, it was like my mom like leaving me to fend for myself. It was absolutely terrible. It was the worst feeling. So I get up there, I walked as slow as possible because I was like, I don't want to do this. But I walk in there, and it was like walking into like a lion's den. Like, I walked in, all his division was standing, like they were all like making their racks and stuff, and they were like, you shouldn't have came up here. Like, it wasn't worth it. We told you not to come up here. Like, you shouldn't have came up here. And for some reason, like, the chief was sitting in the middle of the room with a table set up and the orange card laid on the table. And in boot camp, the RDCs, they like to do this thing where they're like, recruit, pick a number between 1 and 10. There's 10 exercises on the card. And so, you know, I picked like 3. And so I had to do push-ups until I couldn't do push-ups anymore. Like, I literally couldn't lift myself off the ground anymore. And so he saw that. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you a break. And I was like, cool. And he was like, do jumping jacks until you can't do that anymore. So I don't know if you guys ever done jumping jacks with boots, and like we had our NWUs, like our camouflage. They're really heavy. And after you start to sweat, they soak in sweat. It was miserable. Like, it got to where it was really hard. So we had to do that. I had to do that until I couldn't do that anymore. And then he saw I couldn't do that, so he had me do mountain climbers. And then after mountain climbers, he made me do more jumping jacks and then 8-count bodybuilders. And like, I was just going. He made his division, like the recruits that were in his division, they made me a bed because he was like, you're not gonna be able to walk back to your compartment after I'm done with you. I don't know if he was allowed to do that or what, but I was so like, I thought I was dying. Like, I felt my body shutting down. And then get this, halfway through the workout, through like the intensive training, he's like, hey, wasn't there another recruit that was joking around with you? And I didn't say yes, because I'm not a snitch, but I didn't say no, if you know what I'm saying. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die with somebody else. Because it was one of those things where he was like, I was like, no, chief. And he was like, yes, there was. And he was like, go get him. So I had to go back and go get recruit Stenchfoot and bring him with us, bring him back up there with me. Now, mind you, I had already done like hundreds of exercises by myself. So he's fresh. So I'm sitting there, he's repping them out. I'm not, because I've already been beat for a long time. Beat means like just getting IT'd. It's not physically beating you. That would be illegal. But like, so he's fresh, he's doing well, I'm struggling. And long story short, man, we don't pass the IT. That's number one. So we get it in our documents, like in our official like boot camp documents, like didn't pass IT. I think if you do that 3 times, you can get like rolled back in training where you won't graduate on time with your division. But I only got 1, and because I learned my lesson that day. We had to go back to after the IT, so we're drenched in sweat, super sore, but definitely in pain. I remember we go back to our compartment. It's already past lights out. Everybody's already asleep, so we can't take showers. So we have to get in our racks, and we're all musty. Like, it smelled like a Taco Bell in there. I was sad. I was so sad. I was like, all that because I was talking. So for the rest of boot camp, I didn't talk. It was miserable, man. So, you know, some of your tips, like if you're going to Navy Bootcamp, first off, don't talk when you're not supposed to be. But you guys probably already know that. It was really immature. Just try to, you know, fly below the radar. Like, you don't want to draw unnecessary attention to yourself. Obviously, don't just skimp by, but like, you don't want to draw unnecessary attention to yourself. Just attention to detail. Don't do anything until they tell you to move, to execute. Because a lot of times, like, they'll give you instructions and people will start doing them while they're talking. They don't like that, so don't do that. But you'll be fine if you do it. But that was my story on how I almost died during Navy Boot Camp. All right, guys, look. Hey, if you like this video, if you want more story times, man, you know, like this video, share this video, comment down below what you want to hear, what kind of story times, what other videos. If you guys want to see like more skate sesh videos, I have some buddies that skateboard. It'll be a lot less, you know, just me like chilling. It'll be, you know, them doing tricks, and we like to joke around and that kind of thing. So just let me know what kind of content you guys want to see. We're gonna run the numbers up, man. You know, all the famous YouTubers are in LA, so we're gonna take over Florida. We're gonna do it big. So just let me know what kind of stuff you want to see. Like, share, subscribe. All right, guys, be easy.